Welcome to News 4 at 10. I'm Jonathan Martinez. Mandy is off tonight. Now an ethics complaint alleges Whyte used his position in violation of the city charter. It's alleging he got law enforcement involved in a prominent San Antonio attorney's years-long family law dispute. Whyte, who is an attorney, isn't directly involved in that legal battle, but records show his wife, who is also a lawyer, is. In an exclusive tonight, the News 4 I-Team's Mariah Medina unpacks the complaint and what Whyte is saying about the incident.
San Antonio attorney Martin Phipps didn't think anything out of the normal when he saw law enforcement outside of his gated home in King William late last month.
I first said, hey, are y'all here for King William Fair? Because there's people everywhere.
Except the San Antonio police officers weren't there for Fiesta fun.
And they said, well, there was a report that there it could have been from my ex-wife that there was something wrong.
A police report states Phipps's ex-wife called authorities alleging a juvenile at Phipps's home was possibly in jeopardy. But that's not the only person Phipps's ex-wife contacted, according to District 10 Councilman Marc Whyte.
And those messages had gone to my wife and then to me.
Whyte says Phipps's ex-wife also reached out to his wife, Lorien, who reached out to him asking him to get San Antonio Police Chief William McManus involved in the response. Lorien is one of the attorneys representing Phipps's ex-wife in a years-long legal battle against Phipps that's still ongoing.
I had reached out to the chief of police and said, you know, here's what's going on. Here's the text message that I received about the situation, and just didn't hear back.
At least not immediately. Whyte, who was at a private event near Phipps's house, says he asked fellow council member Manny Pelaez for advice on what to do with the information that a juvenile was potentially in harm's way just a few minutes from where they were. They decided to approach Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar, who was also at this private event.
From Sheriff Salazar, we went to the deputy who was already aware of the situation. But everybody still thought, hey, we need to go around and check this out.
The deputy advised Whyte that San Antonio police were already investigating, but unsure of the outcome of that call, the deputies were directed to Phipps's home where they encountered police who were conducting their investigation. An information report written by a San Antonio police officer who responded to Phipps's home indicates that officers did not find a juvenile with injuries at his home during their investigation of the claims and left the scene. But in the final paragraph of the report was a sentence that really caught Phipps's attention.
I couldn't believe it. The officer, Romo, had written that Marc Whyte had texted the sheriff's deputy to look into me.
The report reads, sheriff's deputies showed officers a text message from Councilman Whyte advising them of Phipps, stating them to look carefully into Phipps. That quote featured prominently in an ethics violation complaint Phipps filed against Whyte this week. But Whyte?
I have zero recollection of texting any sheriff. I don't know any sheriff or sheriff's deputy.
However, a week ago, the councilman initially repeatedly denied the allegations. Now he's saying he didn't remember.
I simply did not remember at the time who I had contacted. So at your, I don't know if you requested it or I went back and went back and got my old phone because I have a new phone. Found the text messages,
including his response to the police chief when the chief finally responded to Whyte later that night.
He told me the scene was cleared, 9:45, etc. And I said to the chief, I hope nothing happens. I can't believe your guys left the scene. And I think that was it. Call me or something like that.
Faced with an ethics violation complaint in connection with the incident, Whyte stands by his actions because he says he thought someone was in danger.
I acted like I believe any human being would act in that situation, and I happened to be standing a 5-minute walk from where this was all happening.
Though most human beings don't have the chief of police's cell phone number or direct access to the sheriff as an alternative to calling 911.
If it did violate an ethics code provision, I would violate it every single time.
Phipps doesn't see things the same way.
He needs to be held responsible. And the council needs to do something about this.
He feels Whyte sent law enforcement to his home with the hopes of tilting the scales of justice in his ongoing legal battle. Though regardless of Whyte's intent, Phipps says it was a gross overreach, one he's calling attention to ensure it doesn't happen to anyone else.
Imagine if it was not on King William, but it was on Zarzamora. How is that person going to be able to fight back? And that's not right.